Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast, and we are coming at you from the Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma. And you got Terry, Rob, and Caleb here. Boomer up.
Boomer Terry.
Boomer Caleb.
Boomer.
And it is the day after Bedlam. And so first off, we got to make our announcement. Number one, that you need to hit the subscribe, like, whatever it is you're listening to on. Follow, track. Rob's okay if you want to stalk him. You're okay with that, right, Rob?
That big Rob.
And also that we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma.
But we do have eligibility left.
That is correct. And I am a 5'9", 220-pound, short-legged white guy. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure I could have done just as good a job of covering Oklahoma State's defensive backs or receivers as we did Saturday night.
Well, a few of them are still open, Terry, so you got time. You can run out there and get locked down on them.
Yeah, so let's just break down by quarter first off what happened. Oklahoma State into quarter one, 14-14. Oklahoma scored 20 points in the second quarter. Oklahoma State scored 14, which means we got 2 field goals in the a touchdown, 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals.
Yep. Before you get real technical, did you ever feel like, all right, we're getting ready to crack this egg, we're getting ready to blow this open? Did you ever have that feeling?
Caleb?
I didn't, because we couldn't stop them. So, I mean, we kept scoring nonstop. We couldn't stop them at all. So, I mean, that's why I never got that feeling out the whole game.
Well, we were up, 11 points at one time?
Yeah, 11
and
points.
I was like, okay, they're going to play some defense. We're just going to keep rolling with the touchdowns. And I thought it's going to wind up, 51-31 or something like that or whatever. 61-41. But, man, we just kept letting them hang in there.
Let them hang in there.
Their defense made stops, too, in the red zone. They forced us to kick field goals.
Yeah, we had both had 7 points in the third quarter, and Oklahoma State had 12, and we had 7 points in the fourth quarter. So, basically, we got outplayed in the second half of this game, and were it not for a missed extra point, we're having a completely different discussion today, don't you think?
Well, we had a minute left still to score, so I'm not sure, but it probably, though. We have a minute left, 2 timeouts left after they scored that last touchdown. But that extra point definitely helped a lot, them missing that.
Yeah.
Helped a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, helped a lot.
Yeah, because that's the difference. That's where you talk about where special teams comes into play in every game. You don't notice it through most games, but when you get into a game like this,
it was big in this game.
It was huge in this game.
Because instead of going for 2, they just kick the extra point and they win.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we still had some time on the clock, but
it would have been really hard to score.
It would have been tough.
And, it would come down to, although Austin Siebert is great, Caleb's favorite kicker in crunch time.
Yeah. We have to rely on him.
And Caleb, you wouldn't have liked that, would you?
No. I wasn't worried yesterday we kicked them because they were both inside the 20, so I wasn't worried about that. But, yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's look at a little bit of stats real quick, guys. First downs, OSU 39. 39.
Pretty much at will.
Yeah.
I think that's
Oklahoma 29.
That's the most first downs all year, too, by any team.
They got 9 of them from rushing, 27 passing, and 3 off of penalties.
Well, so we did a good job stopping and run, I thought, for most of the game.
Yeah.
They didn't start running the ball really good until the fourth quarter.
They didn't have a ton of rushing yards.
Yeah.
No. Our problem is not the front 4, the front 7, the front 6, whatever set we're in. That's not the problem. Do you think?
The problem is all the backfield, right?
Pick one.
Well, you know what, though? You and I were talking before we came on here, and I really felt like Trey Brown and Barnes.
Yeah.
I thought those 2 played decently. I mean, I know they got Barnes had a 50-50 ball in the end zone that he just didn't get around in time. But, I mean, he was right there.
Yeah.
I mean, he was standing right in front of the guy. But
Well, the problem with being
make
there,
those plays.
being there in person, is, you know, I mean, I love being there at the games in person. We love watching it on TV, but you do when Oklahoma State kept moving the ball the first two series. Okay, I basically just started watching the defensive backfield, and I'm telling you, and this is no exaggeration. Almost, Caleb, you were talking about it last night. There were 2 or 3 guys open on every stinking play, and I'm not talking about open. I'm talking about, oh my God, you know. And you could just see them break free, couldn't you?
Yeah, it's in the north end zone, around the jumbotron, and you can see open up. I was like, that guy's open. That's a touchdown. Like it was just all game long. It was going on.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's good. I mean, and then Corner makes some crazy passes that like we actually had it covered. Then guy goes up and catches over us a couple of times too. It's just like gonna catch a break this game against this team.
And then there were, I don't know, probably 7 passes that were bad or dropped that guys were wide open.
Yeah, there's a couple of drops to him right in the hands.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky if they suck.
Yeah, because there was I think it was in the third quarter. They were going, I can't remember which quarter it was, but they ran a wheel route, the same one twice in a row, and both times the guy was wide open, and he missed him. And
underthrew one of them. If he throws that ball just somewhat okay, the guy walks in the end zone.
yeah,
Yep, I remember the play.
but
Absolutely.
they only had 139 rushing. We had 353. We averaged 7.5 yards a rush. Passing. Do you even want to, Caleb? You knew it last night.
It's a 501 passing yards.
501 passing yards.
Corn dog.
Cornhole, whatever his name is. 501. Once again, our defensive secondary makes a average or below average quarterback look like, you know, Joe Montana.
A bunch of times in the last several years.
I mean, how does that happen?
Well, it helps. So we're paying 10 yards off of them. They just throw it right to the receiver and gets 10 yards like that. Or if we are person up on them, they just go right past us. It's just whatever we do, they do the opposite against us.
Well, let's look at the bright side here, Terry. So, Corn Dog was not a backup linebacker. Okay, he's a real quarterback.
Yeah. So if he
make you feel better?
if he was a backup linebacker, he'd have probably thrown for 700 yards.
I'm telling you, the 2-point conversion for them to beat us, it was open. It was wide open.
Yeah.
If he throws a good pass,
If he throws
outside.
it outside,
yeah, it's over.
I will say Trey Brown did make it hard for him though. Like he did make because he was on him, but if he throws outside, he had to make a perfect pass.
Yeah.
I
to
mean,
work.
If Kyler's throwing that pass, it's a 2-point conversion.
Or the guy we see in 2 weeks, Will Greer.
Or this guy that's throwing it right here. Look,
Russell
Yeah.
Wilson. Yeah.
boom, there it
yeah,
is.
there's that
I mean,
play.
and
That
two-
was just the play. We're watching the.
Watch the Seahawks Rams, and the Seahawks just ran that same play.
I mean, we'll
scored with it.
we'll see a quarterback in 2 weeks that actually can throw that pass, and Will Greer, which scares me to death now because I think he might throw for 1,000 on us.
He might throw for
That
1,000
guy,
on
not only because we have that Stills guy who all he does is catch touchdowns.
Any
So I
chance
mean,
we could play 12 on the defense?
I don't know what we're gonna do that game. That game, I don't know what we're gonna do that game. That game scares me to death now.
Well, let's see. They were 34 of 53. Cornhole was, and Kyler was 21 of 30. So our offense isn't a problem.
No.
And you can't. The only, and it's not really a complaint. I think Lincoln sometimes almost outthinks himself or outfancies himself, because the third quarter we kept trying to throw the ball and did a couple of things kind of goofy. And I'm sitting there like going, you know, you could tell from the stands that we were getting 7-8 yards a carry, and I'm just run the ball.
We could have ran for 1,000 on the ground. I
Yeah,
think.
just keep running the ball. Quit throwing it. We don't need to throw it when we need to, but we were just slashing them with the run game.
Yeah.
And again, the most amazing offensive line in the country just beat them up on the front side.
But you know what? Here's the thing. We're down to 2 backs. I mean,
Yeah.
if we get another one hurt, we're going to have to pull in the backup linebacker.
Yeah,
So,
but you know, it's just frustrating to sit there and watch it. And you know, I haven't watched the replay. I'm probably not going to, but just going off of memory, the third quarter was ugly, and part of the fourth quarter offensively. But again, you look at the statistics, and you score 48 points, you should win a ball game.
Absolutely,
and we did, and that's.
I think the only thing that stops our offense is ourselves. We got all of those penalties. We'll get driving, and then we get in the red zone. We have a holding call or blocking the back. And now instead of being first and 10 on 11, it's first and 20 from the 30. I mean, it's just crazy.
That defense should have never been able to stop us and hold us.
Yeah,
we should have never had to punt the ball against them. I mean, that may be a little bit unrealistic, but I mean they can't stop anybody.
Yeah. But Oklahoma State had 6 sacks. We had 2. So, no, 3 sacks. Did I say 6 sacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 2 sacks. 3 sacks.
Still, though.
That's what it felt like, didn't it, watching the game?
All their blitz package at work, right?
Yeah.
How many sacks they had? You said
3.
3? Well, they're all cover sacks, too, because they were covering us. Like, that was crazy. When we went out to pass, like, everyone was covered because I was watching, like, no one's open. He's going to get sacked right here because no one's open. And that was crazy to see. So, I mean, they actually could cover us every now and then.
Well, here's probably, here's the stats of the game. Okay, first off, points off turnovers. We got 1 turnover, and we got 7 points out of it.
Finally got turnover.
That was a fumble.
Yep.
And then PAT kicks, 5 of 6. Oklahoma was 6 of 6. Field goals, Oklahoma was 2 for 2. And Oklahoma State was 0 for 1. So, basically what we're saying here is our offense did enough to win. Our defense didn't, or our defensive secondary. I'm not going to throw it on the whole defense because our front 7 is playing good, I think. They held Justice Hill at bay. I guess they hurt him. I don't know. I haven't looked, but
he should have been talking that noise.
Yeah, and then, offense, defensive front, and special teams, and really just boils down to special teams won this game for us.
Yeah, because it wasn't the defense.
It wasn't the defense. And just so we've gotten messages and posts on Twitter today and yesterday, and sorry guys if we don't respond during game days because the reception out there, if you've been to the game, it's horrible. I don't get stuff until hours afterwards and things like that. But we had Nathan Mangrum and a couple of other folks ask me where the Kool-Aid was at. I've taken the Kool-Aid back to Walmart. I'm not even going to try to.
You returned it, huh?
I'm not even going to try to mix it up anymore this year. Oklahoma, in order to beat anybody the rest of the year, is just going to have to outscore them. If we make it into the playoffs, it will have to.
We can shut down Kansas.
I don't know.
No guarantees.
No guarantees.
We still have to run.
Right now, my pick, we're gonna beat Kansas, but it's gonna be 45-30.
Yeah, I'm not picking blowout no more. I can't. I mean, you can't trust them.
How can you? Okay, Kansas is better than they were last year, Rob.
Yeah, they're not gonna put 30 on us though.
I don't know.
Anyway, that's where I'm at right now. I may get to come better senses come, Tuesday or Thursday. But, the West Virginia game is going to be, it's probably going to be 95-92.
It's going to be like the OSU game last year.
Their defense doesn't seem to be that bad.
Yeah, but our offense is going to score on any defense, I think. So, and then we're probably going to have to play them again the following week.
Iowa State. If Iowa State wins this week, we play them.
Yeah, they play Texas.
If we beat West Virginia.
Yeah,
I'm saying if now because that game just scares me to death now because we're going to score so many points.
Even if we lose to West Virginia, we're still in because Texas has. Well, no,
they have one.
No, Texas is out of it. It's because they've lost Oklahoma State and West Virginia.
I think if OSU wins. If OSU beats West Virginia, then Texas can
right.
That's
not going to happen. But there's if we make if we make the playoffs, whoever we play, it's going to be just like the Rose Bowl last year. It's going to be, we're going to be able to score. They're going to be able to score. And it's whoever's able to score last is going to be who wins it.
Oh, dang.
That's a big fight right there.
There's a fight going on right now.
Uh-huh. Yep.
The Rams and the She-Hawks.
That's like you hit him like 5 yards out of bounds.
Yeah. Here's the thing on that Big 12 championship game. It doesn't matter who we play. It's not going to do anything for us because if it's West Virginia, it means we're going to have just played them back-to-back times.
Right.
And it's just not going to be any good for us either way.
Yeah. Well, and that it looks like if we both win out and play, the numbers are going to help us because they're going to be number 7 because we're going to be number 6.
Yeah.
So that's going to help us if we beat them the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll probably drop to 12. And we'll beat them again, but that's still that 13. It doesn't matter who you play. That's that 13th point, that they talk about.
No, yeah.
You guys think it's a guarantee we're going to beat them? You guys think it's guaranteed we're going to beat them?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's any guarantees, but I think we're playing the, what ifs games, and
yeah.
So
that Friday night Morgantown's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a fun game. It's just gonna be real stress. It's like Stillwater last year. It's gonna be real stressful.
Well, it's like right now, my confidence in this team is fine except for the defense. We can't stop anybody. I mean, that's painfully obvious. And FYI out there to everybody who, hollered for Mike Stoops' head. Remember, he wasn't there last night, Saturday night. And this is the same thing that happened last year. It has not been a coaching problem, this defensive issue. Do you agree with that? I mean, it's if you think it's that way, look at what's happened. There's no improvement, and then you're going to get it was halfway through the year. It still doesn't matter. I mean, it's the personnel, it's the personnel packages, and that's just I don't know anything else to say about it.
Yeah, there doesn't appear to be any market improvement like we were really hoping. When Mike left, that things would start, turn around and start getting better and better.
Right.
It's just not.
Yeah.
It's just not any better than it was. But the thing about these Sooners are, they're up and down. Some series it looks like they can really play defense, and I don't know if that's the play calling, or if they just really just played well that series, whatever.
Right.
But if they can put it all together in one game, it needs to be against West Virginia.
Right.
West Virginia.
Yeah, it needs to be, championship November and in December. They have got to put things together in 2 weeks, or like Caleb said, we're going to get, they're going to score on us. Mm-hmm. West Virginia is going to score on us.
Yeah.
So Kansas is going to score on us.
If we lose and we don't get to play for the Big 12 championship, we're going to wind up playing in the out camping back bowl with Duke or some stupid team like that. And I hate that.
Right. And, I mean, if we win the Big 12 and don't make the playoffs, which is more than likely, we
need help for that to happen.
Yeah. We're going to end up playing either in the Sugar Bowl or the Peach Bowl against probably Georgia.
I think we'll play UCF.
Or they're saying the Peach Bowl will be UCF if they keep winning.
That.
I don't want that either, but it makes sense for them. Josh Heupel versus OU, and it's a storyline.
Yeah.
2 high-power offenses. The team's undefeated. So, I mean, that's why I can see it happening.
That doesn't do us any good.
No win situation, but I can see them market that Josh Heupel versus old team.
Yeah, that will.
I mean, that's
that would be the greatest thing for the Peach Bowl is
for Peach Bowl and for ESPN. That's something they can market like that.
On the other end, it's a no-win situation for us. But if we go in there and do what we can do, it should be a blowout, and it'll shut UCF up. See, This is why you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. But yet, if they do like they did to Auburn last year, which is thump Auburn, now they
Baylor up pretty bad too.
Yeah, now they can say, "Hey, back-to-back years, we've beat top 10 teams. You need to start giving us our." But they're not as good as they were last year. I don't think.
But they throttled Baylor, and Baylor was decent when they did it.
Yeah. So, Was he hurt again? Nope. He got up. Sorry, like I said, guys, we have a football game on right now. So,
so if we don't make the playoff, they're gonna put us in with some ridiculous, stupid team because they always want to try and do that to us. Like the Boise State game. I hate that.
Well, if we win the Big 12 and don't make the playoffs, it's us and it's the Big 12 champion and the SEC runner-up.
Yeah.
Pac-12 too, right? Oh, yeah, runner-up. It would be Georgia, right?
Yeah, it would be Georgia if Georgia.
I wouldn't mind Georgia again, but that's if we don't make the playoffs.
Is Georgia as good this year as they were last year?
They're pretty good. They're starting to pick it up now. They're starting to roll teams now. So I mean,
but that's where we'd set up because that's just how it's made up. The big if you're the conference champion, you don't make the playoffs, you get the Sugar Bowl for the Big 12.
Well, I'd rather play an SEC team than UCF any day of the week.
But on the other end, if we don't, I think it's if we don't win the Big 12, and everybody's saying it would be the Peach Bowl because we would be the runner-up in the Big 12, and that's if we're the runner-up.
Okay.
And it would be the Peach Bowl. Yeah. But that's, but who knows? I mean, I don't, I know there's agreements with the conferences as to where you go and where you're placed and, all that other stuff.
Notre Dame does a huge ring of all that stuff, though, because they're leaving two conferences out.
Right.
They go undefeated, so.
Right. Well, do you think Lincoln Riley's looking at the assistant defensive coordinator at Alabama? Because
I hope so.
Shut out another team.
Right. Yeah, I hope so because, Rob, you and I were talking about it Thursday night, and I was actually talking to our buddy Blinken Riley about it at the tailgate. Was there has got to be somebody out there as a dynamic of a defensive guy as Lincoln is an offensive guy. And Young, and we were talking about the co-defensive coordinator at Alabama. Mm-hmm. And you're right. Look at this, 2 shutouts.
2 shutouts in a row.
Against good teams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, LSU has no offense, but still, you got to play to shut a team out.
Right. And to go into, crazy, what do they call it down there in Baton Rouge?
Death Valley,
which that doesn't make any sense, but
Yellow Tigers.
Yeah, yellow and purple tigers in Death Valley. But anyway, they shut them out there.
Death Valleys, or are they claiming the same one?
There's 2. It's Clemson has 1 too. They're both tigers. So Death Valley, Clemson, and Death Valley, and LSU.
No, it's not Clemson.
Clemson is called Death Valley. They call it Death Valley
too.
So is there 3? Because doesn't
there is a real Death Valley too. So
okay, that's where JFK's buried. I mean, not JFK, but
Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, that's one. Still got the shovel.
But, yeah, who is the other? I think you're right. There is another Death Valley in football, but ain't that interesting that they're tigers, and one's an orange and blue tiger, and the other one's a purple and yellow.
Well, now wait,
tiger.
the other one, it's arguable. They could be War Eagles.
That's Auburn.
That's Auburn.
Oh yeah,
Auburn.
not Tigers.
Yeah, Auburn Tiger. What's their stadium?
I'm not sure what they're called. They have hedges too, like Georgia too. So they're weird. Auburn's just a weird place. 2 mascots. They kind of have like hedges like Georgia. That place is weird.
Yeah,
we have 2 mascots. Boomer and Sooner.
But they're both horses at least. So yeah. One's not
ponies.
A horse and one's not
ponies. They're not. Or actually, do we have 3 mascots? Boomer, Sooner, and the Schooner.
And the Schooner.
Yeah, but they all entail one.
Well, you remember what the Roughnecks taught us?
Which is what?
That Boomer and Sooner are the official.
Are the official mascots? Correct. Are the official mascots of that? I still feel like that was a trick question.
Yeah. So you hadn't seen The Grinch today?
No, I didn't. I did. I was napping.
You was napping. Was it better than the Jim Carrey?
Yeah, it was better. It's
better
more
than Jim Carrey.
It's more. I didn't like Jim Carrey that much though. So.
What?
Oh my god!
It's more like the cartoon, like the earlier cartoon. It's more like that. But it's good. It's funny. It's short. It's like an
It can't
hour,
be better
20
than the
minutes.
Jim Carrey version of the Grinch.
That's not very hard to do. Jim Carrey version is terrible.
Oh my God! Feel free to add him
At Dr. Long 24.
Terrible movie. Jim Carrey's good. The rest of the movie is terrible.
Oh man, I love that show.
Yeah, it's a great one. I love the Grinch. That's my favorite. The old cartoon's my favorite.
It's
I'm
more.
wanting to see this one, but man, I was zonked.
It's more like the old cartoon. Except it's good though. The dog's pretty funny.
Yeah, last night after the game, people came out to the tailgate and we broke down and got home. I want to say 10 o'clock,
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, around then.
And we stayed up and watched some fights, which saw one of the greatest UFC fights ever.
That was a really
Really?
good fight. Yeah.
Yes.
That was a really good fight.
Who fought?
It's like the Korean Zombie and some Rodriguez.
Rodriguez
It's like five rounds of them just going at it. Then guy knocked him out. 1 second left on clock. He's
Literally 1 second, Rob.
threw an elbow elbow right to his chin underneath him. He threw it up,
Knocked him out,
He's gonna lose the fight too if he didn't knock him out right there.
Yeah.
Oh my
I mean, literally, he hit the mat and he was out. It was one of those curled up,
Yeah.
and the referee raised his hand to stop it, and the
bell
horn
rang.
goes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the latest knockout in UFC history. In the 5th round at 4 minutes 59 seconds.
And
It was
what
crazy.
was really cool was the last minute of the round, they were both giving each other props.
Yeah, they were high five and then finally
They were high fiving each other, and then they would go back to fighting,
Start swinging.
and they would stop, because it was that kind of.
Sounds so.
It was also in Denver too, so they both were trying to catch their breath, and so it was a crazy fight.
Yeah, but no, got knocked out with a second left in the fight. But
Holy cow!
but
What kind
anyway,
of stamina those guys have got to have.
it's crazy.
But
But
I guess the
anyway,
guy that fought to like broke his foot like the first round too, so he was like after the fight he couldn't even walk no more. So I guess all the adrenaline left his body. I guess right there.
but we went to bed, I guess, about midnight, and then we got up this morning, went and had breakfast with Conway and Tattoo Baker and Conway's family from Arizona. Went to what's it called, Caleb? Where'd we go?
The
Ozzy's Diner. Love that place for breakfast.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Anytime you can go, all you can eat, and tell them what you want. That's awesome. And then they left, and I came back in here, turned on. It was about noon. Turned on Red Zone. That's the last thing I remember.
Out.
Yeah, I was out, and I woke up, I guess, about 3:30 or so, and I was like, oh, and I go out to the garage to get a cigarette and remembered, crap, I still haven't unloaded the tailgate. So then I unloaded the tailgate, but tailgate was awesome yesterday. It was, not only we had Conway from Arizona, Mike from Tennessee, of course, Dan from tailgate, Dan Donnelly from California, Tattoo, Holzhammer's dad was there. Blinken came out, Steve Bullard, and I know Tara. Okay, Tara was there. Sorry,
She was?
Tara. Yes, I didn't.
Did you bring me some cookies?
No, she didn't bring any
What?
cookies, and she wonders why she didn't get mentioned today as a show up. She knew she was in trouble too, because when she walked up, she goes, "I didn't bring cookies." I'm like, "What?"
What was she thinking?
Yeah, of course, Lori was there, and oh gosh, I know I'm missing. Oh, the folks that you picked up at the Lloyd Noble and drove them
From New Mexico?
from New Mexico, they came by.
Ah.
Yeah, they said, we had to come by. Rob said, and he goes, go over here, and when you see a banner with my a cartoon of me and my buddy, that's it.
And his son, yeah.
Yeah, and they took a picture and they hung out for a little while.
I said, go in and tell him Big Rob sent you.
Yeah, and
They were like, really? I'm like, yeah.
and then
no.
some other people just came and went, that were hung out for a little while, but most people were there, got there early, had some not good chili and
Not good chili?
no, had some good chili.
Oh.
And had a little heater in the tailgate. What are you showing him, Caleb?
The knockout from last night.
Oh,
Man, yeah, he was that. I really like it when people from out of state come and it's their first one,
oh yeah,
because we take it for granted so much. You
Yeah.
know, that Palace on the Prairie,
Yeah.
You know, everything that we got going on as Sooner fans, it's a good time to be a Sooner. And then somebody comes that has never been,
Yeah.
you know, so that was pretty cool.
Well, you know, Mike and the guys from Tennessee, they were the first ones to get there, and I mean, they were tailgaters too, man. They got out the cornhole game and started playing, and blinking, and then we're playing. You know, had a football out. I was talking to a couple, you know, Dan, like I said, from California, Dan Donnelly. Talking, you know, I had, you know, set up the tent, you know, set up the, not tents, they're, what are they called? Canopies. And we have enclosures because it was cold yesterday morning.
Well, yeah, but you also had an Oklahoma State tailgate right next to you, right? So you wanted to close
They
that
never
off.
showed up, so don't
They never
know-
showed up?
Yeah, don't know what happened with that.
Okay, don't be a sissy.
But they had their tent up, or their canopy up. But anyway, I enclosed it, had a little heater in there. It was nice, and then we're standing out there, and there was like 2 people sitting in the
Inside with the heat?
Inside with the heat, and everybody else is standing outside talking and stuff. So I was like, I don't know why I put up a canopy. Just everybody comes outside and stands here.
Claustrophobia.
Yeah, and of course Caleb was there mingling.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
And but it was a big. I mean, at one point in time, there was probably 30 plus people there.
Oh my!
Um,
So that whole place right there is probably pretty packed because
Yeah.
I know that some of those are big tailgates right in that area.
Well, and you know, of course, it's Oklahoma State, so there was more people come to the other tailgates too around us. That
Yeah.
so did Big Dan walk up and say, "Oh, you guys are amateurs. I'm sure y'all have
no,
this
he loved the chili. He was you know, just you know, raving about the chili, and he brought I don't know, 3 or 4 friends with him, and there were people that were waiting on him. They wouldn't stay. They would just come up and go, "Is Dan here yet?" And we're like, "No, he will be pretty soon." Okay, well, I'll be back. And when he showed up, they all
found him, huh?
They all found him. But I'm looking forward to next year going out to the Rose Bowl, and because he's going to put together a tailgate out there at the Rose Bowl. That
We're there.
We're
there,
there.
Big Dan.
So you going to go with us, Caleb? You got to buy your own airplane ticket.
That's not worth it. UCLA's guard. I already been to the Rose Bowl once, and it's going to be like a quarter of that full when I go there next year. So it's not going to be that good.
Yeah, well,
Maybe this time we'll win.
yeah,
Should
we should.
maybe we might stop Kyler. Maybe you never know. You didn't see
What
a
do you
report?
think the odds are, really?
Did you see a report yesterday that Tom McShay reported that
No.
he said it's not guaranteed he's playing baseball. After he's going to talk to his parents. Like it's not guaranteed he's leaving.
Yeah, but if he's not playing baseball, then he's going to be playing football in the pros, right?
Yeah.
maybe he could come back.
Well, see, I don't know. Can he? Here's the thing I thought about. Okay, is can he have a baseball contract, play minor league ball,
Yes.
and still go to school to get his, you know, master's degree or
I
something
believe
like
I
that?
heard them talking about that the other day, that he could do that.
Yeah.
It's not going to be real easy, but
Yeah, that he, you know, he could play minor league ball and then still play football.
Yep. I'm saying Tom McShay, he's like one of the best insiders in NFL, like especially recruiting. I'm not recruiting draft stuff, like college stuff like that. He said that he wouldn't be surprised at all if Kyler's playing football next year, probably at OU. So I mean, I think that would be good. Obviously, if that happens,
It'd be good for us, but
you ain't a kidding. I mean, arguably, he's the best quarterback in college football right now.
yeah, and
And the argument is down to one other player. So
right, yeah, and the fact that one other player has a defense that can stop people.
Not just it's a juggernaut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Both sides of the ball.
yeah, it's Alabama. They're beating everybody up, and Oklahoma is got a loss, and they're winning, but they're not winning pretty.
No,
That's what we've
super
become.
ugly.
That's what we've become right now. The last 2 years is the king of ugly football. We win the games, but we should be playing people like Alabama is playing people. With this offense, we have got to have a defense that is that good. Mm-hmm. Right, Caleb?
I didn't say that good, just good. I'll be happy with just good defense.
We've been saying that for a dang
Yeah,
year.
that's all we need. We just need a good defense. If we get a good defense, we'll probably win it all. A top 30 defense.
The only other thing that I can say is, you know, they had a bunch of recruits in this weekend. Everybody did their or I think it seems like everybody took their last official visit to OU that they could, because they had a bunch of guys in. Marcus, Lincoln has got to be taking these defensive guys in a room and going, you guys will be playing next year.
You want to start?
Exactly.
You want to start, buddy?
I mean, look, and he can use Bookie as an example. Bookie's a freshman. Yeah. You're a 4 or 5 star. You can come to Oklahoma and play for 4 years.
Well, there's a big 5-star right here in the state of Oklahoma who's not staying.
Yeah, Michigan.
But I mean, that has to be in time. Look at where we're at. Look at what we're doing. What we need is a defense. You guys will come in here. Look at Bookie out here. Freshman comes in. He comes in early, but still he's here. He's starting. That has got to be enticing to some of these players.
Got to be.
I can come into one of the best programs, and they're telling me I have the ability to earn a spot and play. I need to sit down and look at the recruiting and see what we're doing with defense. Because I know we're getting 4 and 5 star defensive ends coming in. Marcus Hicks. Can't think of the other guy's name.
Has he committed though?
Who, Marcus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He put out on Twitter he just got accepted to OU. So he's coming. He got his letter of acceptance.
All right.
So he's coming to OU.
Yeah. Wish we could have got him and Dax Hill.
Yeah.
And we lost one other one
But we're getting 4 and 5 star defensive linemen and front men.
Not even tackles. We're not getting D tackles.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing we're not getting.
But
linebackers, we got like 4-star corners coming in next year and safety.
Okay, that's what I wanted to see.
We got legit corners coming in, safeties next year, but we had no D tackles, which hurts us a lot. That's why I think that's what.
Well, but Thompson,
strap them on.
Yeah, Thompson now, who's hurt this year, was a 5-star out of St. Louis. He's going to play next year.
We hope Jalen Redmond plays.
Yeah, Redmond, of course, is out again, which I didn't know that until Rob, you told me. But that's going to be a situation. I mean, if anybody's ever dealt with blood clots, that's bad. Getting a bruise, getting banged, and if you're clotting back up like that, that's not good.
Not good.
So, but what'd you think? The running game this week. Kennedy Brooks had 165. Trey Sermon had 125. Okay, again, Kennedy Brooks. What did he average a carry? Anybody want to guess?
12 yards. So.
10.7.
11. So you go on both sides of it.
11 yards a carry.
11 yards a carry.
Well, that's crazy because I was surprised that he was in there because in the first half, Trey Sermon was breaking records for more rushing yards in the first half, and the second half he didn't play at all. It was all Brooks. It was
Sermon had Kennedy had 15 carries. Sermon had 16 for 125 yards. So he only averaged 7.8 yards a carry. But see, here's the thing about Sermon, and I was watching him during this game. I have never seen that guy fall backwards.
Yeah, not much.
If he hits you, if you hit him, he's still going to go another 2 yards.
Yeah,
he had a good game.
Yeah.
Kennedy Brooks still doesn't look like he's sprinting.
Yeah. Kyler Murray had 88 yards. Marquise Brown had 1 carry for 0. And so, and Kyler was 21 to 29.
I forgot, in college, too, they take away yards from getting sacked, too,
yeah,
right?
Sacks comes against your rushing yards.
So you got over 100 rushing yards. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
That shouldn't go against your rushing yards.
That should go against your passing yards, I think.
Something like that. That's just...
Well, and then again, we're talking about the Heisman deal. I saw you were watching it last night.
Tua?
No.
Herb Street?
Herb Street was talking about,
no one's paying attention to Kyler Murray at all.
He's doing better.
He's going to break all Baker's records, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like Baker said that last year, he's going to break all my records, which
Baker
said that.
Yeah.
Yes, and he's
We're all
doing
going,
it.
Yeah, whatever.
But he's getting overshadowed by a guy who's he's doing well, but not doing as well statistically as Kyler is.
Hasn't played the second half, though, too, so that also helps.
Yeah, that's true, too. But
well, and you know what, Terry? You and I both said, well, let's wait and see what happens when he plays a good defense. Well, I think LSU is a pretty good defense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he pretty much lit him up.
Yeah.
He threw some picks or whatever, but he still.
Yeah.
And then they play Mississippi State, who for that game only gave up 7 touchdowns all year, and
Pretty good defense.
Yeah, it's good defense, and
Yeah.
I mean, he's come back a little bit because he's played 2 really, really good defenses, but he still lit them defenses up.
Yeah.
I mean, and also it's the first time Alabama's had anything like this, so you know that they're gonna hype it up more than anything else. Yeah. So I mean, that's why, man, it's pretty already done deal. Like no matter, like Kyler can go throw for like 1,000 yards the next 2 games, and then it won't matter though because they love Tua so much.
Tua's gonna probably get it. Yeah. The only way he wins right now
gets hurt.
If he drastically.
So does that mean if we make the playoffs and we have a Heisman Trophy loser that we're going to win the national championship?
I told my buddy Matt, who's a Bama fan, said, "We'll trade you. You get the Heisman this year. We'll take the title.
Yeah,
we can switch."
Because history has shown when we win the Heisman, we lose the title.
Yep.
So there's hope.
Except for was it the Leinart year? That's the only time we lost. They played them in the USC in the championship game, right?
Yeah. It was
Leinart, Bush, White, and Peterson.
The year that Jason White won it, we lost to LSU.
The next year was when we played USC. When Leinart won it.
The year we lost to Florida was the year that
Tim Tebow.
No, yeah, but that was the year that Sam Bradford won it.
Ah.
And then we get beat by Georgia last year in the playoffs.
So we're only once have we not won it and we lost and we still didn't win. That was the USC year. That USC game was just weird though.
The year that we got the runner-up in Josh Heupel, we win the national title.
Yep, to Chris Winkie.
So
I think was it Peterson runner-up that year?
What
that
year?
Leinart won?
I
think he was. He was a runner-up that year. Leinart won.
Maybe he was.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he was. I know Jason White was last.
He should have won it. Peterson should have won it.
That was back when they won't get the freshmen because the traditions.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he didn't even win best running back. That running back award they get that Cedric Benson. Stupidest thing ever. Cedric Benson was first team all Big 12. We'll give him best running back because he's a senior.
So let's look at the top 7. Let's go 8. In the AP, Alabama beats Mississippi State, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clemson pretty much manhandled
Boston College.
Boston College's
score was they got the punt return. That was it.
Notre Dame, did they play yesterday?
Yeah, they beat the crap. With the backup quarterback, they destroyed Florida State.
Yeah, because I didn't even pay attention.
They had a backup quarterback because I guess one got hurt.
Yeah.
The main guy got hurt.
So hopefully he's hurt when they play Syracuse.
Mm-hmm. That's this week. And then he's hurt again when they play USC because that's the next week. So Notre Dame still could lose. I think that's our only hope. I don't think Michigan's going to lose Ohio State.
Michigan, who'd they beat?
They beat Rutgers 49-7, I think. That was a beatdown.
What was the score in the Georgia-Auburn game?
I think it's 34-10, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And, of course, Oklahoma squeaks by lowly Oklahoma State. West Virginia.
27-10 was the Georgia game.
27-10 was the Georgia game. West Virginia
throttles TCU, but TCU's not any
good. 47-10. And then there's Washington State.
They won handily too at Colorado.
Who was their one loss to? Was it to Washington?
USC.
USC.
Yeah, they knocked Washington out of contention.
Right.
They haven't played Washington, I don't think yet. They'll play them like the Apple Bowls like last week.
Are you sure?
I don't think they played yet still.
I think that's right.
That's right. Yeah, we were talking about, somebody else was talking about that. Ohio State
pulled away. That game was closer than the final score says. That game was close in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They got a couple of turnovers.
So, and to top off the top 10 is LSU.
They barely won.
But that's another thing, man. Blinken, the statistical genius that he is.
Mm-hmm.
Him and I were talking about the same thing that Klatt did, and he, of course, Blinken is much better at math than I am.
Yeah.
But he agrees. You look at the college football playoff rankings; they have backloaded that back 15, and even to benefit Oklahoma. They put Iowa State.
Some benefit there, yeah.
They put Iowa State. They're
Iowa
leaving.
State's gonna move up too.
Yeah,
week.
they're leaving those. SEC teams that everybody's going, how in the world are they, number 10? So the top 5 and 6 will have good wins.
They have the top team in the nation, the top 1 loss team in the nation, the top 2 loss team in the nation,
right,
and the top 3 loss team in the nation.
Right. They're backloading because when people can say how did Oklahoma, for instance, make the top 4 if we make it. Well, let's see. They beat West Virginia, who was ranked number 7. If we beat West Virginia, they beat
Texas 19 or 20. Or
Iowa State.
Iowa State's 19.
The reason why Iowa State's behind, I think, is because they lost to Iowa, and they can't put them over Iowa. But Iowa lost this week, so they might put Iowa State in top 15 maybe this week.
Leaving Texas in there in the top 15-ish or so, that's a quality loss for Oklahoma.
Especially it's a rivalry game, neutral field.
And then you go into this, it's like they're putting them there to make so they can go, well, look, here's why. And then, of course, we start talking about all the different playoff scenarios that we need to have instead of this, and basically it comes to is, and I think it was Blinken who was saying, either leave it up to computers or leave it up to people, but if you're leaving it up to people, you're putting bias in it.
Sure you are.
If you create an algorithm that says, take all this stuff that they say they use at the college football playoff committee into effect and let a computer tell you who the top 4 is, it would be a completely different outlook. So it wouldn't have any bias to leave a 3-loss SEC team in the top 15. I don't know,
because somebody's still got to program that computer. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the comparison.
Yeah. Or you take, and I think both of us were talking about, and Rob, you and I have talked about before, make like 6 mega conferences, and you only play your side of the conference every year, and you play your conference championship, and then you play out through the playoffs.
Yeah, I wouldn't be as I'm not opposed to what we have, but I wouldn't be opposed to that either.
Yeah, and because conference championships don't mean anything anymore. They used to mean you went to the Rose Bowl or the Orange Bowl or the Fiesta Bowl.
It means if it fits their narrative. If it fits their narrative, that means a lot. But if it doesn't, like the first college football playoffs, Big 12 didn't end because when you have a Big 12 championship game, when you have a champion. Then last year it didn't matter because Bama, they had to put Bama in there. So I mean,
but it's the fact of it is not fair. And me and Blinken were talking about it. And I never David Pollock on Friday evening,
Georgia,
on the college football. It's basically the day before game day. He basically said it is not, we're putting Alabama in. Mm-hmm. Alabama can lose their next game, and they're in. And he goes, that is not fair. It's not. We have already crowned them champion, and said even if it's one loss, Alabama is in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That isn't fair.
No, absolutely, it's not fair.
And you could say the same thing with Clemson. Clemson could still lose a game, and they're going to be in. Okay, that's not fair. Now you're saying that when you lose a game isn't important. And what's the guy from Michigan that's on there?
Desmond Howard.
Desmond Howard was in agreement. He's like, it's that. It doesn't make any sense that now you can sit here and go, well, Alabama's making the playoffs, so it really doesn't matter if they lose a game.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they lose 2.
But that same human factor is what's keeping UCF out.
Right.
Because,
exactly.
According to the UCF fans, they deserve a chance to be in. Well, you don't, because you don't play anybody.
Right.
Well, we played Auburn. Well, yeah, you played Auburn, you beat them, you got your chance to do that. That's great. But you got to play somebody in season to get that consideration.
Now, if we went to conference championships, they would have an opportunity to play.
Absolutely, they would.
They would fall in. They're going to be a low seed, so they're going to get the Alabama or the Clemson or the Oklahoma. They're going to get the, because that's how you seed them. You seed them by the strength of their conference. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've seen some tweets today talking about bringing UCF and South Florida into the Big 12.
That's when Big 12 just be gone. I just want to go to SEC. Us in Texas. Kick OSU out of there. Let's go SEC.
Yeah.
I'd rather just have LSU and Arkansas. in the Big 12.
They won't do that though. We don't have enough money.
Geographically.
SEC,
and really,
yeah.
we need to boot West Virginia.
Yeah, put them back in the ACC.
The Big
and-
12, I think it's a dying conference. We got maybe 5 years left of it, and then
Yeah.
Maybe not that long, depending on how the schools are going to react to some of the stuff that's coming down. But
Well, and that's I still love the fact when Nebraska, and I hated them leaving the conference, but when Colorado and all that, there was that push to make those 4 mega conferences. That was what
that was the time to do it.
SEC. That was the time to do it.
We're so close to doing it too. Then Texas got the huge ESPN deal that
Texas.
ruined everything.
imagine that.
Yeah, because
But
we would have been in the SEC.
We went in Pac-12, I think. Which
Yeah,
I would've
the
been
Pac-12.
bad. I wouldn't been a fan of that because I've been
Yeah.
imagine staying up late for those. Because it means you'll be working every night then because they always have late games because the West Coast kind of.
Well, they said it was first going to be the SEC and then it was going to be the Pac-12.
SEC wanted us only if we came with Texas, which I was
Right.
fine with. I was like,
And
I was-
Oklahoma, remember, it came out that they weren't going to go unless Oklahoma State went with them, and they didn't want Oklahoma State.
Yep. Shut the whole.
Thanks a
thing
lot, Oklahoma
brother.
State. You ruined football for everybody.
in Texas, we're doing that ESPN deal.
down. I mean, if we went to the Pac-12 or the Big Ten, well, I think we would probably be dominating that conference as
Yeah.
well.
That'd been fun. Us and Ohio State would have been
Ohio
interesting.
State, yeah, would have been
Michigan.
the big one. And
But the thing is,
Yeah.
you'd have had those 4 mega conferences, and you'd have had the conference championship was round 1 of the playoffs, and then you came into the top 4.
yeah, well, that
Which is
goal,
perfect.
The goal of that playoff is to make sure that you get the best team in there. And so the top, if you take in the top 4, then your chance of error goes down,
Right.
Because in the BCS we could only get 2 teams,
Right.
So do you not feel like we're getting the top 4 teams in the playoff?
I didn't think the first year. I still will go with my grave that TCU was best team in the country.
Yeah.
That first year. That TCU team was so good. And they played Ole Miss that bowl game. They beat the living crap out of them. That TCU team was really good.
Yeah, but I mean, they're
But I think that every other year, I think they got the right teams. But I think that first year was the one year that I didn't think they got all the right teams. But
But since then,
yeah, Bama last year was arguing, but Bama was better than Ohio State. So
they had to show. They had
yeah.
to show it. And
I mean, they
Yeah,
end
they
up
did.
they end up winning it, but there's got to be. And Robbie and I have talked about it. And I was talking to Blinken about it. This is what I like about pro football is the playoffs. Okay, because all I want my Steelers to do is make the playoffs. Okay, because anything can happen at that point. So you're playing for that divisional championship to get to that next level. And college football,
Division
it's-
I college football.
Yeah,
Everyone
Division
else
I.
does it.
But I'm talking about Division I college football. It is a flat out shame that in week 8 your team loses and you go, we're out of the playoffs. That the fact that a 1-loss Big 12 team may not make the playoffs, or a 1-loss Big 10 team,
a 1-loss Big 12 champion.
right? Big 12
get left
champion.
out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You could leave these teams out because I don't know. We got beat by Texas, but let's say, your first string quarterback, strains a hammy or something. Whatever that a one bad call on a defense or whatever the case may be ends up ruining a team's chances to be in the playoffs.
That's their argument though, because people who do this, they like that the college football every week matters. We're the only sport that every week matters, which I think is stupid.
It's stupid.
I mean,
It doesn't for Alabama.
It doesn't for
Yeah, it doesn't
everyone.
for-
Not
yeah.
for everyone, just for who they choose it to
Yeah,
matter to.
one-
But
I mean, we all know that if Michigan loses, well, they're out. Okay, why? Well, because they're not that good. But yet, if if Alabama and Clemson lose, they're still in. Well, why? Because they're that good. That makes no sense.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
You may agree with the fact that Alabama, okay, if they lose, they still deserve to be in, which I probably am in that category. It's not fair.
Well, I mean,
I think what
You
they
know what
should
I
do-
mean?
I've been saying it's like they should do 6 teams. The 5 get automatically in, you get 1 at large.
Yeah.
This year would have been Notre Dame.
I think it needs to be 8. 8, I think everybody would be happy with.
But
you think?
they got finals during that time though, Dad.
No.
That's why they
You
can't
can't
do that.
make everybody happy.
No, but I think if you go 8, you got 4. You got the criteria, then you get your 8. Just take the 8. However,
You get 5. You get the 5 conference champions and 3 at-large teams.
You know, and I know what you're saying, Caleb. They got finals during that time and everything else.
That's their reasoning, but yet,
That's
but yet during March Madness, that's during finals too. That doesn't matter.
I mean, here's my thing: is Oklahoma football is the more aggressive sport, more chance of getting hurt and everything else. You're not going to tell me how many basketball games does a team have? 40?
If they go all the way, it's 40. Yeah.
Okay. How many baseball games do they play?
I don't know how many baseball games they play.
Yeah, probably about 40, right? 20 to 40.
Yeah, it may not quite be that many.
Okay. Now here's the big thing: football players get on this big, giant, nice airplane.
Football pays all the bills.
And yeah, I know, but I'm saying that I'm using that for my argument though.
Okay,
is that they fly in a nice plane, spend Friday night, play their game, get on a plane, big nice plane, and fly back. But baseball players get on the little puddle jumpers. Basketball players get on the little puddle jumpers.
I think basketball has like nice planes and stuff too, though.
But my point.
That's it though. But I mean, football. And
the wrestling team, I know they've taken bands. To places before.
the football and basketball pays for it. Mostly football, but football and basketball pays for it.
You're right, but I mean, but what my point is that you could play through, December. Just college football be from September 1st to January 1st, and we crown our champion. December is the playoffs. Okay? Well, that's when they have finals. So what? Okay? Then give them a week off for finals.
Like I said, like during March Madness, that's during finals too.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. That's not the argument there, though, when that happens.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
And look at like I said, the March Madness, it's straight, Oklahoma may be put in the Northeast region and have to travel to New York to play the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Oh, yeah.
But yet you could do playoffs home and home, the top seed, and everybody's like, well, that kills the bowl system. No, it doesn't. If you're not in the playoffs, you can still play in a bowl. Well, that's not going to take away. Really? That makes me mad because look at the does anybody really want to see the, Sharpie Bowl, but people still go to it?
People, money betting. That's why they do it. But people like to bet. It's the best
if Oklahoma State doesn't make the playoffs and they go to the Alamo Bowl, is the Oklahoma State fans not going to watch it on TV or go to the game? Yeah, they'll go to the game. The fans will still go. You still keep the bowl system intact. It's just your top 8 teams don't go to a bowl. They go to the playoffs. And then your highest ranked, Pac-12 team and highest ranked Big Ten team, they still go to the Rose Bowl. You see, you're not doing away with it. You're just putting the 8 best teams into the picture.
Well, I don't know that we'll get any change just because they feel like they're getting the best 4 teams, or they're at least getting the top 3 best teams in the nation into the playoff. So I really, really doubt there's going to be anything changing soon.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
Well, let's look at the Big 12. We already talked about West Virginia and TCU. Caleb, have the young ladies from Kansas State gotten a hold of you?
I told you, I don't think I was drunk. I didn't add them, but I haven't heard.
Boy, you're a genius. I'm a little bit disappointed in you right now, Caleb.
I thought I was going to add them, but I thought he did, but then I realized like that night
he had a bet. He had a bet with these young ladies from Kansas State. He thought, which they almost.
I watched that game. It actually was like they got like a 4th down run for a touchdown or something like that. It was a close game.
Yeah, Kansas State beats Kansas 21-7.
I still think Kansas is better. Play a neutral field, Kansas wins.
Texas squeaks by Tech 41-34. Iowa State.
Did you see any of that game?
I saw the fight today. I didn't see any of the game.
So
but
Texas was handling.
Oh, I'm talking.
Them.
Oh, Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech. Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the Iowa State game.
Oh no. And then I was flipping back and forth or something. No, it was highlights that I was watching, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, Tech came back and tied it up late and had a chance to win, but They let Texas beat them.
Yeah. But
Was it last? It must have been last night.
yeah, they played last night, so you probably
It was
watched.
a blur.
It was a
because
blur.
I was so tired when I finally got home.
But Iowa State and Baylor got into a fight about, and it was a nasty fight. Have you seen that, Caleb?
Yeah, I saw that. Like,
What was it about? Do you know? Or
I don't know. I really don't know. I just saw highlights of it, probably like you did too.
yeah,
I got college football final taped at home, so I still haven't watched that.
yeah. But so we got Kansas coming into Oklahoma next weekend or this weekend.
Yep.
6:30 game, which just thrills Rob to death.
Last one of the year at least.
Yeah.
Last one.
It's bittersweet.
Yeah, bittersweet. Can you believe that? Is it just me, or does his season just flew by?
Flown by, like so fast.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like yesterday we were begging for football season to start,
I know. And now here it is. We're like, put on the brake.
which is why we need a playoff system so we can watch more football. But, what do you think? I mean, are we going to just throttle Kansas, or
Should. I mean, I just don't trust our defense anymore. Not right now.
I mean,
We'll put points, but it's just let's start Kansas. We're home, senior day, night. I think the first night game real night game of the year. So I mean,
no, it's 6:30 was the kickoff for Army.
yeah, but now it's night. Now it's like pitch black at 6:30 now though.
Yeah, true.
Well, this is probably the worst offense that we will have played. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah,
I think Kansas State's worse.
Kansas State.
Kansas State's offense was really bad.
So
second worst.
second worst.
Second worst offense, yeah.
Okay.
They have no potential NFL stars. I mean, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, but I really don't see Kansas being able to do a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know,
We need a statement win too. Like I've been saying the last 2 weeks, there's gonna be a statement win by us, and I've been dead wrong. Luckily, we still won, but there weren't no statement wins.
Yeah, we haven't had a stat.
Everyone else has had statement wins so far. We're the only ones that haven't had one yet.
And Alabama's had two.
Mm-hmm.
But Alabama walks into the mighty Citadel this weekend, don't they?
I hate Alabama.
Got Silver this weekend, and then they got Auburn, and then they got the rematch, in the SEC title game. That's already determined last week.
Rematch.
Georgia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, rematch from last year.
Yeah.
So,
Really, I know I need to be pulling for Alabama, but I hope Georgia just burns them down.
Well, that happens if they get two SEC teams.
Yeah,
in the
Mhm.
game.
I know.
They're-
I hate Alabama.
but so and then we got to go to Morgantown on a Friday night. Why did they schedule that game for a Friday night?
Because of
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They still
I'd
doesn't.
be okay with the game on Thanksgiving, but
Yeah.
you know, to all those kids that want to go home and see their parents, they probably were like,
Yeah. Well, then don't play football if you want to see your parents. Which reminds me, you weren't on last week with the tailgate, Rob. That's where Dan went to. It was a Division II school out there, but it's where the guy that coached at Colorado, Dan something, I can't think of his name. It's Big 12 football.
Dan McCarthy?
Yeah, no, not McCarthy. He used to coach at BYU.
Dan Mullins?
No, not BYU. Mullins. No, Boise State was where he used to call it. I think it's Mullins. It's when he had the rant that it was Big 12 football. Some parent complained that he was tough on their kid, and this ain't intramurals, brother. It's Big 12 football. But apparently
Wasn't his name McCarthy?
No, McCarthy was the good coach there that had that kind of brought him out of the.
And he the one that was caught grapping about. They brought a kicker in that was a girl.
No, that was the coach before this
Dang it.
guy. He coached at Northwestern. I can't think of his name, but not only was she bad, she was a girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen, there was a girl kicker at the North Texas Armadillos.
No,
Yeah, buddy.
she was smoking.
Oh, my goodness. Kathy
Beth
Ireland,
Ireland,
right?
yep.
Caleb, you don't know nothing about that.
I've seen that movie, but I don't like you guys have, I guess. I was like maybe 10 years old when I saw that movie.
Well, watch it again, okay?
Yeah, it's worth a look.
But Breaking Bad movie.
Oh yeah.
Is it happening?
Yeah.
Do we know yet?
They're start filming this month.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's go be extras.
Yeah. How do we get to be extras?
Show up in New Mexico probably.
Huh.
Been
there.
That's not that far away.
Been to that house.
Do you think we could hang out outside the house and maybe?
I wonder. Well, it won't be Walt's house, will it?
Well,
Since it's
they're
not-
saying
so
he's going to be in it.
Yeah, he'll probably like flashbacks or like he'll be like maybe like Jesse. It's about Jesse.
Gotta be flashback because Walt's dead.
Yeah.
It's about Jesse, or maybe like Jesse's seeing him when he's doing it, like his like,
Maybe.
like,
Maybe he hits his,
Yeah.
he becomes his
like his
Jiminy
mind.
Cricket.
Yeah,
I'd give you the heebie-jeebies.
So, I mean, but it's about Jesse. It's about Jesse. It's about him escaping. It takes place as soon as he escapes that place. That's what takes place.
You know, I got to think about this. With Breaking Bad, my favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes in the last one was
The last episode.
was when he had the Jesse's buddies with the laser lights
Yeah.
at his old partner's
yeah,
house.
that was good.
Those laser lights hit them, and like I'm going, and we're like, damn, he's got somebody. I was thinking, who do you get to come and
Got some snipers
out there, and next thing you know, here comes these stoners walking out.
Yeah. Yeah, two of the worst people. I don't know how he pulled that off, but
That was one of my favorite scenes of it.
yeah, that was good. And that, and what he did to the girl with the drink with the stevia.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Bye,
You just have to know Breaking Bad, know what we're talking about, but
bye Lydia.
Bye,
That's funny.
Lydia.
Yeah,
The what?
that's what he says to her. Bye, Lydia.
By Lydia.
yeah, her phone's ringing.
Yeah.
Are you sick? It's like
You
flu.
think you got flu? Well, it's not flu.
It's not flu. It's ricin.
That dude was. It's bad that we like a guy that was that bad.
I know. I know. Well, I don't know. I don't like the fact that he was bad. I just,
Like the
the movie,
character.
it was just really put together well. It was
Yeah.
made really well.
I know Gilligan. He tried to make him like everyone that hate him, but like nah, did the opposite to me. I like him more. He's just badass.
Yeah, but it's
He was evil, but I mean he was badass. So.
But his reasoning behind it to start was
it was that right at first, but then he wanted to be like he said at the end. He wanted to be known as this is what he's.
he
best
just
at.
became good at it.
Yeah,
but
he wanted to be known that this is his.
initially,
baby, pretty much.
initially he just wanted to make $2 million
Get by.
to give his family because he was going to die.
Just enough to leave him something,
Yeah.
to take care of him.
But of course, something would always happen that would, he'd get robbed and
Well, you know what?
lose
As
his
a
$2 million.
father, as a husband and a father, which I'm not a husband anymore, but I can relate to the sentiment.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to die. I want to leave my family.
yeah. And you go look at your life insurance, and everything.
Yeah.
Go, they're going to lose everything if I die.
Right.
So what can I do in the next 6 months or year?
So we kind of felt for him
Yeah.
immediately.
And I could see doing that.
Of course, then he did a whole bunch of stuff that was just
Yeah.
wrong. I mean,
Power
bad.
got to his head. Like I said, well, he also had created that company that's not like worth billions, and then but he never got the credit for it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So yeah, so that's the power to his head. Now he created this, the best meth I've ever known to man. And so that's
Yeah.
That's
Good luck telling that one at your next party.
That's
Oh, by the way,
what. But he even said that he liked doing because it's something he knew that he was the best at. No one was better than him at it. So I mean,
But he became best at it. That was it.
Well,
He was terrible. He was good at making the meth. He was bad at being a bad guy.
yeah, he didn't want to be a bad guy at first.
And then
he had to be pretty much for that
Yeah.
in that field of work, I
I
guess.
don't know. That last episode, he pulled that machine gun out of the trunk. That was pretty good.
Yeah. So I'm actually kind of excited. I think a lot of people I saw were like, "No, you can't do this," but then the more were like, yes.
More people on the positive side. Some people that are complaining about theirs, or some ones that complain about Better Call Saul, and look how wrong they were about that. Better Call Saul's one of the best shows on TV.
Yeah.
So,
But
Well, Jesse was severely damaged mentally.
yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how that movie's going to go because, I mean, he's
He was
just going to sit
kidnapped.
around in the shower crying all the time.
Yeah,
right?
because
he was
was
kidnapped.
He was chained into a pit.
And then he watched the girl he loved get shot as punishment. Like, oh yeah, I mean, now it's
Well, and then of course the one girl that he loved, Walt let her
Let her die. Didn't
let her die right there next to him.
he? Yeah.
poor Jesse.
Poor Jesse.
Poor shit.
Well,
But he was the comic. What in the magazine though? They were going to kill Jesse off in the first season,
Yeah,
weren't they?
they were gonna come off the first episode or something like that. Maybe halfway through the season when they met Tuco, whatever. everyone cut him off right then, but that him and Walt were still good together.
And people liked him.
Yeah, but that was before they liked him. This before the show came out. This Gilligan saw how good they were together.
Yeah.
Their chemistry was, so they kept him.
Could you imagine Breaking Bad without him? You know,
Not really.
I mean, it's like Mike wasn't ever supposed to be in the show either. Like Bob Odenkirk had something going on, so they called up Mike to show up and clean the house when she died. And that's why Mike's in the show.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be Bob. That was supposed to be Saul doing that, but Bob Odenkirk couldn't show up, so they called that guy up.
You had an ex-cop do it, and I love Mike. Mike is.
Yeah, Mike's good.
That's why I like Better Call Saul so much, is because of Mike. Kind of wish they'd have made a.
I don't know how much longer Mike can be on the show because he looks like 100 years old.
Yeah.
He's not as old as you think. He's like in his late 60s, so he's not as old as he looks. Just looks for old.
Wow.
So I looked it up. I was like, I thought I'd wrap this up because I'm not sure how much longer. I thought the same thing you thought, and then I looked it up. And he's not that old, I guess. So
Well, seeing that when Mike died, you know, when Walt killed, that was what that Walt felt horrible about. You know, when it was one of the best death scenes ever when he's sitting out by the river and Walt comes up to yeah, well, you can go away and let me die in peace.
So I didn't know how they were going to handle this, you know, Huel, because in Breaking Bad, Huel was like 450 pounds.
Yeah,
we lost a lot
And
of
now
weight.
he's like
Yeah.
180 pounds. I'm like, how are they going to explain this?
I really hope Bill Burr comes back in there too, because Bill Burr was pretty funny. Has pretty funny parts in it too.
Bill Burr.
Yeah, he's a comedian.
He's in it too. He's he's on the train tracks on that train episode when they're robbing the train.
He was also there when they killed the boss.
When they killed, broke his neck. They broke his neck.
He fell and broke his neck.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. But there's so many great scenes in that show. So like I said, I'm Oscar winner moment. Caleb, you think they'll kick out an Oscar winner?
I mean, if it was as good as a show, then yeah. I mean,
wouldn't that be crazy if Walt wins Best Actor and
I don't know. He might be in a movie that much. It'd be Jesse that wins stuff.
yeah,
Aaron Paul.
But yeah, it's interesting to see what because they're going to have Walt in it. You know, like you said, either his Jiminy Cricket or
it'd be something like that. It'd be like maybe he has dreams and he's like talking to Walt, something like that. It'd be something like that, but because the flashbacks won't make as much sense.
Yeah. So anyway, anything else on the agenda that we haven't rated, guys? That we need to talk about?
Embarrassing win, but a win is a win, right?
A win is a win, and that's when you know it's a embarrassing win is when your team's website says a win is a win. So.
Well,
you got to win them all. It doesn't matter how you do it. So
you know what is significant about the University of Oklahoma and the Sooners is, and we've said this, there's a lot of teams that this game, the Oklahoma Sooners, since we rule this conference, and you can't say that we don't.
Right.
Since we rule this conference, this game for Texas, this game for Oklahoma State, it is bigger than any other game on their schedule the entire year, and that may even include their bowl game.
Right.
So when it comes down to this game, I mean, they're playing it like it's tomorrow's not coming, and for us, I hate to say it's just another game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
but I mean, do you not think that every team that plays Alabama is that way now?
Yeah, probably, but Alabama's a lot better football team than we are.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, they got a lot better defense than we do.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think there's any offense out there better than ours.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Theirs is the closest.
Theirs is definitely the closest.
Wow, Clemson's offense is pretty scary now with that Lawrence kid too.
So I think the top 4 offenses in the nation are Oklahoma, Alabama,
and Clemson,
West Virginia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play one of those in 2 weeks. That's great.
So we got to outscore West Virginia.
Yeah.
Like
That's what it's going to have to be. We're going to have to outscore
like that OSU game last year, which that game was terrible.
But then again, I wouldn't be at all surprised if our defense shows up and shuts them down.
You're right.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be hugely surprised.
Yeah, I mean, if we beat them like Iowa State beat them, if it ends up being 45-24, but I don't. I mean, maybe because they're expecting pass, and that week they're going to be working on everything. I don't think they expected Cornhole to, throw it the way he did.
Well, I mean, anybody can hit a wide open receiver. I'm just saying. We didn't make it that daggum tough.
We didn't
on
make
him.
it hard on him, so. But yeah, so We'll see, but we got to get past Kansas first.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, we would have to say that. We have to get past Kansas first. We should have looking past them anyways. Kansas is so bad.
but it's a shame that we thought our defense was getting better.
They were better
because we played Kansas State and TCU.
They did the stuff they weren't doing good at. They're better at. They were tackling better. They were stopping the run. We're still stopping the run. We're still tackling decent.
And the tackling just can't cover anybody.
You cover no one. Yeah.
How does that?
There's no statement this next week. It doesn't matter if we score 100 points and we hold them to nothing. That is not a statement game for us.
No,
and they won't be looked at it like that. So
the statement win will have to come against West Virginia.
Yep.
And it could matter. It could matter in getting us in the playoffs. Beating them 2 weeks in a row, if it's them, handily, may be what it takes to get us in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
quite possibly.
Anyway, well, that's the podcast for this week. For today, guys. And we will talk at you tomorrow. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
Boomer Caleb. Boomer. Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Hit the subscribe button right now on whatever app you're listening to download every episode as they come out. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook and on YouTube. Boomer Sooner.